Hi everyone, my name is Leanna Biddle, she, her pronouns, and I'm the Career Education Manager for the Warner College of Natural Resources. Today we'll be talking a little bit about the virtual career services available to you and what you can be doing now to become career ready. As a quick overview, I help with a lot of different things. I help with career exploration, job search strategies, resume cover letter development. Even if you're thinking of going to graduate school in the future, we can have that conversation. So anything career related, I can be your go-to gal. So we first are going to dive into some of the different virtual career services that are available to you, even in this virtual setting. And so the first is our virtual advising appointments. So both myself and Sam Palmer, who is the career educator for the college, we are offering virtual career advising appointments. Those are typically 45 minutes, and it's a time again where we can talk about where you are in your career journey and how we can best support you in that process, whether it be connecting you with employers, talking about careers of interest, talking about potential job opportunities, and more. What I'll do is throughout this time together, I'm going to navigate both the Career Center website and also WCNR Career Services. And when I do that, I'll show you where you can sign up for an appointment with both myself or Sam. Next, we have the Virtual Career Peer Drop and Advising Program. And so this is a program where we have our amazing career team of career ambassadors offer drop-in advising. So typically these are 15-minute conversations. It could be a quick resume review. It could be a cover letter overview. It could be talking about different careers that relate to your major specifically. But again, it is a 15-minute snapshot conversation talking about some of those different opportunities available to you. If you're thinking about applying for an opportunity, that would be a great time to come in and get your resume reviewed. And we have our amazing team. We have Tara Atwood, we have Aaron Cummings, and Logan Johnson, who's offering those different career drop-in advising appointments. So please stop by. Next is our WCNR Career Services website. So we are lucky enough within our college to have our very own career services website. There you can find jobs, you can find individualized resources, different videos that you can watch if you need some of those resume support services, cover letter support, you name it, that's available through that website. And so again, I'm going to browse that website so you can take a look and see all that's embedded within it. Next is our NRCC newsletter. So this is a newsletter that is sent out every Friday weekly. Aaron Cummings, our amazing career ambassador, puts it together. And essentially it's all of those jobs, opportunities, scholarships that are compiled into the newsletter outside of Handshake. So we'll talk a little bit about Handshake. That is our job internship hub throughout the university, but all of those additional job opportunities are going to be embedded within the newsletter. So I would make sure to sign up for the newsletter. And again, when I go through the website, I'll show you how you can do that. But I'd highly recommend it so you get those job opportunities right to your email inbox. And last but not least, we have our jobs list by undergraduate major. And so as I was connecting with students and appointments, I was often getting the question of how can I one, get involved and how can I find those different jobs that pertain to my major and my interests moving forward? Where do I start? And so essentially what I did was create a jobs list. So by major, so thinking about human dimensions of natural resources and natural resource tourism, there are different sections with job sites that you can look into to find jobs, internships, really anything that you need. So again, I will go through that so you're able to see some of those sites as you move forward. Next, what I'm going to do is actually navigate the Career Services website and also WCNR Career Services. And so in my role, it's unique in that I am a part of the larger Career Center through the university, and I'm a liaison to the Warner College. So again, what I'm going to do here in a second is go through the two websites so you can get a better understanding of where to find some of those different resources that I named. So as I mentioned, we are now going to navigate the two websites, the Career Services website or Career Center website and WCNR Career Services that is more directly for Warner students. First, we're going to go through the Career Center website. And what I plan to do is just showcase some of those different opportunities or resources that might be helpful for you moving forward. And so the first is the Resource Center. So by clicking on Resources, you'll be able to click on Resource Center. And essentially, this is a hub of a lot of different resources that you can tap into 24/7. On the left side, you'll see topics, career interests and identities. And this can be a space where you specify your search. And so, for example, if you are hoping to get more information on career exploration or cover letters or even resumes, again, this is going to be a great place to see what are some of those guides available to you. What are some of those resources out there that you can tap into? If you're hoping for more specialized resources, especially relating to your career or industry of area, if you go down under career interests, some that more resonate with our Warner students is animal and ag, international careers, law, public safety, and government, thinking about the federal government, and if you have an interest in working for the federal government, sustainability and environment, and tourism and hospitality and recreation. So a resource or industry area that might be directly related to your interests moving forward. So again, when you click in, those specialized resources will pop up. And this is, again, of access to at any point. So feel free to tap in to see what resources might be available. You can even go as far as to combine the two. So we have tourism, hospitality, and recreation. And if I were to click on resume, again, you would have more specialized resources like this tourism resume, and an example of what this would look like as you move forward. So some great resources as you're going through the Career Resource Center. Going back to the main page specifically, even in this virtual setting, we are hosting virtual career events. And so what you'll be able to do is look at some of these different events and if they resonate with you as you move forward. So I would be checking this, especially as you think about making connections in a virtual setting, trying to find different jobs and opportunities and different resources that may resonate with you. This is going to be a good starting point. And by clicking in, you'll be able to see a little bit more about the event and learn more, especially within Handshake, which I'm going to click on here in a second. So here we have Handshake. Handshake is going to be that starting point where you can find some of those different jobs and opportunities available to you. One benefit of Handshake is that we vet all of the different employers who come through this site. And so we know all of the employers, and they often attend our career fairs, whether in person or virtual. And so again, this is going to be a good starting point to see what opportunities might be available to you. How you can do that is on the top left by clicking on Jobs. You will see some of those different job opportunities that pop up. Now, I will recommend using the filters to find some of those jobs that more pertain again to your area of interest moving forward or your career interest. So what you can do is click on all filters and, for example, click internship, full-time, part-time, on campus, whatever works for you. As you're thinking about those industry areas, what you could do is by clicking on industry, you can go down and see what industry areas most pertain to you, like natural resources. And again, by clicking on that, you're going to have a more specialized search coming up. Now, some that may resonate with you, it could be marketing, it could be tourism, could be outreach, it could be environmental education. There's a whole lot of different options that you can choose from as you go through the process. If interested in attending different events, like I mentioned before, here you can see the events being hosted. So again, Handshake is going to give a more in-depth look at some of those events that we offer, both in the Career Center and also outside of the Career Center. So some other organizations that might be hosting events. What I would recommend is as you look at events, and if one catches your eye, I would recommend registering to that event just so that you can get more information on it as you move forward. We now have WCNR Career Services. So like I mentioned, we are lucky enough in our college to have our very own Career Services website. So while I would recommend taking a look at the Career Center website, I would also recommend looking at this website because it's going to have specialized resources for you as a Warner student and specifically an HDNR student. So as you go through and go down, I did mention earlier that I was going to point out some of those different resources available to you. And one of those is scheduling a virtual advising appointment. And you can do that by clicking this button right here. Again, either myself or Sam Palmer, we're happy to help with a number of different things, including job search strategies, career exploration, and more. So again, this is where you can schedule that appointment. Going down, we have some spotlight jobs and events. So I do my best to update this section as it relates to some of those jobs that come through, my email specifically, some events that are coming up that might be of use to you. This is where you can find the current information for fall 2020 for our virtual career peer job and advising program. We do host that via Zoom. So look for updated information as it gets closer to spring and what changes might happen. I did mention the NRCC newsletter, and so I quickly wanted to show you an example of what that looks like. You can access it through WCNR Career Services. I mentioned that this newsletter has an array of different resources, including upcoming events that might pertain to you and be of interest to you. Some different resources, including job sites that relate to your major of interest, opportunities and events on or off campus. And as I go down, we get to the good stuff, which is those spotlight jobs and events. So either a job, an internship, really anything that again is sent to my email that we include in this newsletter. And so if interested in signing up for the newsletter, I'm going to quickly scroll down so you can see that button. You'll see a green box that reads, would you like to receive weekly job and internship postings? By clicking here, you'll be able to subscribe to the newsletter. So again, I would highly recommend doing that as you move forward. Another amazing function of WCNR Career Services is the Warner Hot Jobs. So these are all jobs that are pulled from Handshake. And so as you think about some of those industry areas I mentioned, like sustainability and environment, animal and ag, hospitality and tourism, which may more resonate with you, or health and rec, these are going to be some of those specific jobs that you might have an interest in. So I would check this maybe 1 to 2 days, every 1 to 2 days to see what opportunities pop up. But again, this is going to have specific opportunities that relate to our Warner students. Here we have some job sites, resources, and more, again, that might be helpful for you moving forward. Some of those videos that I've created. And so again, if at night you have to create a quick resume, we have resume overview, we have cover letter overview, and federal resume overview. If you have any questions about the federal hiring process, please feel free to reach out and we can have an individualized conversation. I did want to quickly highlight my amazing career team. Again, we have Sam Palmer, who is our career educator. We have Tara Atwood, who is our lead career ambassador. Erin Cummings, who is a career ambassador. Rachel Jackson, who is a student ambassador and is the vice president of Manners, which stands for Minorities in Ag, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences. And Logan Johnson, who is our vice president for Warner's College Council. And so if you're looking to get involved in either of those two student organizations, I would highly recommend either reaching out to Rachel or Logan. I quickly wanted to go over also our Major to Career tab, which might be helpful for you as we move forward. Following us scrolling down and looking through this resource, I'm going to go over some strategies of how you can best prepare and become career ready. This is going to be a great starting point. So if we were to go down to HDNR below, here you'll be able to see some of those different job titles. Those job titles our students often take as they leave CSU, those first destination jobs. We have a list of employers who often hire our students, how you can get involved at CSU, some of those professional associations as you think about how you can get further involved at a national level, and also certifications that might benefit you as you move forward. So this is going to be a great starting point. And if interested in learning a little bit more and seeing more jobs and opportunities, you can actually click into the handout. And as you go down, there is a career checklist that might be helpful for you. So with that career checklist, as either a first-year student, a transfer student, second-year student, and on, you can see some of the things that you could be doing to best prepare for, again, your career as you leave CSU. So a great tool for you. All right, so now what? We looked at the two websites to see what resources might be available. So now what can you be doing so that you feel successful as you move forward, not only at CSU, but beyond as well? So we're quickly going to go over what are some of the things that you could be doing. I did want to include this statistic as I think it's really important to talk about it. So 80% of 2018-2019 Warner graduates had plans secured up to 6 months post-graduation. And so essentially what we do with our graduating students is ask them to take the first destination survey. So again, this is to see where our students are going. So some of those job titles that we looked at, some of those employers, that's where we get that data. I did want to include below the 4 factors of success. So this is what students indicated as leading to success as they left CSU in terms of having a job and having a career. So one being engagement with the CSU Career Center. And so this is engagement. This is listening to this video. This is learning more about what you can do, so you can check that off. It's also attending events. It's having a one-on-one advising appointments, and it's being involved with the Career Center in one way, shape, or form. Internship involvement. So I essentially think of this as experience that relates to your area of interest, right? Or your industry of interest moving forward. So this could be some field work that you're doing. This could be an off-campus opportunity. This could be research on campus. Again, thinking about your career interests and what type of opportunity might be available to you. On-campus virtual employment. So this doesn't have to directly pertain to your career of interest or industry of interest. They could just be gaining experience, employment, right? Thinking about some of those transferable skills that you gain, whether it be communication, teamwork, public speaking, all of the above. So thinking about those skills that you are developing in a different sense. And then of course GPA. So I want to steer away from the number and more focus on the connection that you make with your faculty. It's going to class, it's being engaged academically, it's asking questions, and potentially having that connection with your faculty mentor or faculty members in terms of what opportunities might be available. Maybe leaning into faculty in terms of their network and who they know and how can you tap into that network. So more focusing on the academic success aspect of it rather than the number of a GPA. So step one, so I am a step gal, so bear with me. All of this doesn't have to be done in steps, right? It's just breaking it down so you can better conceptualize what this process could look like. So the first is thinking about and reflecting on your education, present and future. So why are you in your current major and why did you choose it? Thinking futuristically, what is your big question? What's your career goal? What do you see yourself doing in future? What skills or experiences are you hoping to gain, whether that be in the classroom, whether that be extracurricularly, whether that be in an employment opportunity? What are some of those skills that you're hoping to develop over time? And then connected to what is your career goal? What job titles interest you? And we'll talk a little bit about that here in a second. But it's good to start thinking about what are some of the interests that you have. For example, do you love working with kids? Do you love being outdoors? If the case, maybe environmental education might be a good route for you to take. Thinking about some of those interests you have and making those connections, and I can help in that process. I next wanted to highlight some of those different job titles that might be of interest to you. So again, going back to that career handout that you saw on the website. Some of the jobs that our students have indicated as they've graduated, some of those jobs that they've taken on essentially is environmental educator, outreach coordinator, outdoor recreation guide, park ranger, city planner, all the way up to director of recreation operations and resort operations manager. So really the sky's the limit in terms of thinking about what are some of your interests. And what I would do or think about is what are some of the experiences that you can gain during your time at CSU to better help you get to some of those jobs that might interest you. I also want to acknowledge that if you're looking at this list and you're thinking, I have no idea what I want to do, that is totally fine. This is going to be your time to better identify what interests you moving forward if you think about student org involvement, academically what you're learning, and also what you're learning from some of your peers and in a one-on-one appointment with myself or Sam. So we can talk about, again, some of those job titles or areas that you could lean into to gain more experience and put together a job title that better fits you and your interests moving forward. Step 3, seek out ways to gain experience. So these are just a few organizations out of a number or resources that'll help you gain some of those different experiences you're looking for. Some that quickly come to mind and one that's on campus is our Environmental Learning Center, or the ELC. The Colorado Youth Corps Association, which has a number of different opportunities in terms of that environmental education piece, if that's an interest for you. The City of Fort Collins has a number of internship opportunities and volunteer experiences. The Larimer County Conservation Corps, if you're still trying to figure out exactly what you want to do, they have a lot of summer opportunities and some fieldwork experiences. And last but not least, the international internships option. So, if you are thinking of taking an internship abroad or traveling abroad, going global is going to be a great resource for you. What I would recommend doing is going to that resource center that we navigated together, clicking on international careers under industries, I believe, or career interests, and from there, clicking on going global. So, that's going to be a good starting point to see what type of internship opportunities might be available to you. And last but not least, step four, being staying engaged academically and professionally. So seeking out that faculty mentorship, right? Those faculty that you connect with to see what opportunities might be available. Some of those connections might lead to a research opportunity, a professional connection, right? Again, another way that you can look to gain experience as you move forward. Some different student organizations that come to mind, the CSU Tourism Association, Warner's College Council, like I mentioned before, a great way to get connected to kind of the environmental policy side of things as we think about its connection to ASCSU, the larger governing body or student governing body here at CSU, and minorities in agriculture, natural resources, and related sciences, or manners, as we think about inclusion at CSU and in the college, as we think about diversity, equity, professional development opportunities. Manners is lucky in that it is both a regional organization and also national. And so there are a lot of great opportunities nationally for our members as well. And last but not least, getting involved on or off campus and spending time volunteering. So some of those organizations on the last slide may have employment opportunities and they might have volunteer opportunities. So it's great to see how you can get involved in one way or another to see what your interests are. If again, you're sitting here thinking, I don't really know exactly what I want to do, I'm still trying to figure it out, that could be a space where you are using your hands, you're working outdoors, you're working with others to again better identify what are some of those jobs or career interests that you have as you move forward. Before ending, I did want to mention this. As we think about some of those barriers that could be there as we think about success moving forward. And so it's so easy to talk about volunteering or getting an internship off campus or doing all of these sorts of things. But it's important to talk about some of the obstacles that might be in place. And so I created this word cloud with in the back what people or some may perceive as success, right? So that could be purpose. That could be leadership, maybe moving up the ladder, if you will, within an organization, promotion as a part of that, helping others, employment, maybe happiness or passion within a job, really enjoying it, financial stability, or achieving your goals. And like I mentioned, with all of that, there might be some different barriers, right? Access to opportunities, financial ability, expectations, whether those are internal or external, transportation, getting from one place to another, or maybe even imposter syndrome, wondering if the organization you're working with or the industry that you're interested in, if you belong in that industry. And if you're wondering any of those things, let's have a conversation so that we can talk more about some of those experiences that you're having and we can try to combat some of those different barriers of what you're experiencing moving forward. I want to make sure that you know that you're not alone in this process. The job search at times can often feel like a job in and of itself, and I want to make sure that it is as enjoyable as possible for you. So please know again that you're not alone and that we can have some of these different conversations. So last but not least, and to end, I wanted to include again my name, Leanna Biddle, she, hers pronouns. I am the career education manager and I'm happy to engage in some of these career conversations together. I did want to include my email. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and I am available by phone, email, or Teams or Zoom. And so again, feel free to reach out with any questions you have. I'm happy to discuss wherever you are in the journey, learn more about you and hopefully help you as you move forward and think about some of those careers that interest you.